This 7-year-old Mary is a little rebellious. When the teacher is giving a lecture, she said, "What the hell kind of school is this? Ask low IQ questions like what is 3 plus 3? The teacher got a little angry, told the girl to get up. Then ask a more difficult question. What is 9 plus 8? 17. The teacher seemed very satisfied. So what is 15 plus 17? 32. So what is 57 plus 135? 192. The teacher seemed a bit surprised. So what about 57 times 135? This question seems to have a high difficulty level. Mary finally hesitated a little. The teacher finally breathed a sigh of relief. Start focusing on teaching. 7,695. This is too surprising. The teacher took out her calculator and tried it. It was true. Mary again says the square root of the number is 87 with a small remainder. Child. The next class has the principal to attend. Mary said again, "Now call Frank to come pick me up right away." So Frank had to go to school to take Mary home. The teacher chases after him and tells Frank that Mary is a math genius. Frank of course already knew this. But just tell the teacher that she learned a quick math problem-solving system. The teacher didn't believe it, so she went online to look up the math problem-solving system. The next day, the teacher distributed the test questions to the whole class. As soon as the assignment was over, Mary finished it too. But the teacher seems to have prepared in advance. Take a higher level test for Mary to do. Now Mary has a little interest to do. The girl seriously fills in her name. But it only took a few minutes to finish the whole lesson. So to say she's not a genius? The teacher went online to look up some documents about Frank but couldn't find anything. But the website suggested to her Diane committed suicide. The document shows Frank as Diane's younger brother. So the teacher went to Frank to ask about Mary's condition. Frank tells her the truth of that year. A genius mathematician named Diane meets a scum. He got Diane pregnant and then disappeared. Diane gave birth to Mary, gradually lost hope in life and left this world. That day on the bus to school, Mary saw her classmate being bullied by a classmate. So she took the initiative to stand up, grab the book and hit the other girl on the head. After the incident, Frank was invited to the school. The principal mainly wanted to tell Frank that Mary was a math prodigy. Can transfer to a better school, can even apply for free tuition. But Frank disagreed. He just wanted to leave Mary here so she could grow up like a normal child. But the principal didn't want to bury such a talent. Self-report this to the Ministry of Education. Soon after, Frank's mother, who was also waiting in front of their house. What is needed is still coming. Grandma knows she has a natural talent. So she wanted Frank to put her in her care. But Frank rejected her, because his sister's death has a lot to do with her upbringing. Moreover, he also agreed with his sister to let Mary live as a normal person. Of course Mary's grandmother also disagrees. Even asked to go to court to dispute the custody of Mary. The two of them don't give in to anyone. First trial, Grandma's lawyer says that Frank intentionally took Mary away. Moreover, Frank's life is very messy, not suitable for the child to grow up. Frank's lawyer said that he was only following the wishes of his foster sister Mary. Furthermore, the living conditions don't matter at all. If they say the conditions there are not suitable for an adult child, the neighbors nearby have to move too. So the judge sent someone to investigate the place and then make a decision. That day Frank received or has the right to visit her granddaughter. The next day, Grandma took Mary to MIT. Then put her in front of a clear target. There are 7 millennium problems in the world. If you can solve one problem, you will be honored like this bearded uncle. This is the problem your mother has been studying for a long time. Besides, it's just a little bit more. Mary is determined to hang her picture on this wall. Grandma is very happy to take her to a classroom. The math professor here gave her a math problem. Mary thought for a long time and still couldn't solve it. Angry grandmother dragged the little girl out of the room. But what school did Mary say to make the assignment wrong? Grandma quickly brought her back. Mary corrected the problem. Of course, this mistake was intentionally made by the professor. After that, Mary quickly solved this problem. In the second trial, bribed for him to designate grandmother to be Mary's guardian. But Frank's lawyer said, he had never fulfilled his father's responsibilities before. So there is no right to appoint a guardian. When Mary got home, she knew that her biological father had appeared and was also heartbroken. Feeling like a child, mom doesn't love, dad doesn't love, everyone wants to quit. Frank took her to the hospital. Let her experience the joy of regaining life from the hand of death. Also tell Mary, when you are born, everyone in the family celebrates the same way. Mary has realized the value of life and is more hopeful in the future. In the third trial, the lawyer said that the grandmother could not bring joy to the little girl. Her daughter being forced to commit suicide is the most obvious example. Grandma said she didn't want to waste her talent, so she did it. This is also a practical thing to promote the development of the world. This is the greatness of the human mission. You force your children to learn? Later, the court considered that both grandmother and Frank were not well qualified to raise Mary. So they both refused. Then send Mary to another family, wait for the 12-year-old girl to decide for herself. Frank is also worried that he will affect and limit Mary's development. So he also agreed to send Mary away. The house is very big, with a swimming pool, a private room, a bookshelf and a piano. The important thing is to be able to raise cats. Mary cried and told Frank not to leave her behind. Frank had no choice but to turn around and leave. That day, Frank brought gifts to visit the little girl, but was stopped at the door. The landlord said that Mary didn't want to see him again. Frank returned home very sad. At this time, he received a message from his teacher. Is a notice to find a one-eyed cat. Frank quickly ran to the animal shelter, found the one-eyed blind cat that Mary really liked. As soon as she opened the door, as expected, the grandmother had colluded with that family, having a hand in her life, indirectly creating the next Diane. Mary didn't want to see them, so she ran outside. Frank threw away the documents and ran after him. Mary vents all the hatred in her heart out. Frank hugged her tightly and apologized. Frank returned to the room. Tell the mother what she needs is in the document. In fact, Diane soon found the solution to that difficult problem. But she wants to wait until after you die to make it public. The mother saw the tearful piece of paper, finally let go of the attachment in her heart. Tears keep flowing down. Perhaps it was only now that she understood that. Perhaps her daughter was suffering a lot. By the end of the movie, the child prodigy Mary will be studying at MIT in the morning. In the afternoon, play with other friends. Although studying is very important, life is even more important. Children think about.